Hello, welcome to Somerset News Network. A writer, a journalist for the Daily Telegraph, Allison Pearson, she's 64, was visited by the police for malicious communications. Non-crime, hate crime, they called it. And what happened to her is the same that happened to me. They threatened me with arrest for a post, or it was a one-line comment on a Facebook post for me, and they wouldn't tell me what it was. I said, well, how do I defend myself if I don't know what it is? Oh, you've got to come in for an interview. Well, I said, I want to know what it is so that I can work a defence, so I can come and see you and explain. Exactly the same that's happening with Allison. This is not, it just ain't right. What they're using is this hate crime act, the Malicious Communication Act. It was the same act that was used for Katie Hopkins. She took it to the High Court and they made her bankrupt. It's a question of free speech. And as you can see, we got the free speech and the right of debate under the Bill of Rights. And what this does is this supersedes the Bill of Rights, and it's unconstitutional. Now, if you're going to scream and shout at somebody and you're really being malicious, you're really harassing somebody in speech, then yeah, I can understand that the Malicious Communication Act would be used. But if you've got a point of view and somebody doesn't like it, why should the Malicious Act be used? Because they're offended for what you say, that's now a crime. It's not that you dislike the person, you've just got a different point of view to them. How can having a different point of view be a crime? Because that's free speech in the Bill of Rights, 1689. What they've done is they've twisted it. And they can't define how somebody's offended. So they say, you've just got to say you're offended. You don't even need the evidence. They say the law's an ass. This is a great big ass. It needs to be sorted out. We have to have the right of free speech. And this takes the right of free speech away from people. Now, in my case, what happened? November, the police phoned me and said they've got to speak to me. So then we were trying to arrange a meet-up. But I said I'm not going to say anything until I know what I've done. Because I tweet and make videos and use Facebook. I'm using it every day. I didn't know what it was. And I said, well, I won't say anything until I know what it is. Oh, we're not going to tell you till you come in for an interview. That's the first mistake. So I emailed him and we were trying to arrange a date. And we met in the end in January. We had a meeting in December, but he called it off. So we met in January. And they'd arranged for a legal aid lawyer for me. I don't think I need one. I've been in journalism for a while, on the country sports side, but I've written things. I know what I can write, what I can say. I don't dislike anybody. I'm not trying to attack anybody. I've just got a point of view. And what I said was actually a fact. It was true. So even if you say something true and it's factual, because somebody's offended by the truth, that's now a crime. And that is wrong. The local council had jobs going. And that somebody, I don't know if it was the council, because it was never on the council's Facebook page. I think it was somebody linked to the council. Put a little post on my local forum, and they said that they were an equal opportunity employer. Well, if you employ people, you've got to be an equal opportunity. So there was no need to say that, because that's the law anyway. But next to it was the pride flag. Now my thinking is that is singling out a single lifestyle to other people. And I thought that was wrong. Now, I found out years ago, when the first pride flag first came out, I was fighting paedophilia, and I was with a group of guys on the internet that were fighting paedophiles. I saw the same colours that are on the paedophile flag on the pride flag. So I googled paedophile flag into Google. What came up? The pride flag. So that's the basics of my defence, is it is considered a paedophile flag. But it means so many things to so many different people. LGBTQ, whatever they're called, they think it's their flag. You know, the transgenders think it's their flag. The gays think it's their flag. The lesbians think it's their flag. But it's also linked to paedophilia, which was a fact. So I got hauled in by the police. The lawyer said all I had to do is say that I didn't mean to cause an offence. I said, oh, all right, I can do that. That's not a problem. I was not going to admit my guilt because I didn't feel guilty. I wasn't guilty. I said a fact. And that's all it was. In the end, they came and they said, no further action, because I said I didn't mean to offend anybody. And then the policeman said, you have to be careful what you put on social media. Well, if you've got an open forum, which most social media is, you've got YouTube, you've got these videos, you've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and half a dozen different other ones. How can anybody who disagrees with what you say you're offended, even if the comment you made is not aimed at them? Because they don't like what you say or disagree with you, it's now a crime. This needs to be redressed. This needs to be sorted out. It's just wrong. We've got the right of free speech and debate, and what this does is people don't say things. Oh, I don't want to say something, I don't want to get into trouble. Well, as long as you're not harassing anybody or being offensive, then why can't you say it? If the politicians turn around and use this act on us, if you disagree with a politician on his policies, that could be seen as malicious communications. And as we got Starmer in at the moment, and he's got all these MPs, it could be like an Stasi. very, very easily. Well, is that not what's happening? It's like I'm living in 1984 or a brave new world. You know, somebody has got to stand up and say, this is wrong. There has to be some sort of guidelines so you can make a statement and have a point of view that is different to somebody else. Now, Allison Pearson isn't going to know what she's done wrong until she goes in and has her interview with the police. I expect the David Telegraph that she writes for will take their lawyer in with her. But then once they know what the tweet was that she said, they've then got to work a defence, which they're not allowed to do before they get there. This is the whole point. This is the police manipulating the situation, trying to get you to say something that will incriminate you. It's all a con. It's police harassment. In my case, I believe the policeman that interviewed me was a friend of a guy that doesn't like me in the village. And I think it was done as harassment. Oh, sorry about that. The sun's just come out through the blinds. Never mind. I'm going to finish this and we'll wait until the sun goes over and we might say some more later. Bye-bye.